Hey, Travis, Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. You got the emotion of senior day behind you. It's going to be cold up in Blacksburg. I know you played in colder weather up at Boston College a couple of years ago, but how much are you looking forward to playing up there on the road for the first time since Georgia Tech?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited just to get to play another week. Honestly, uh, doesn't really matter where to me, but it is a cool place. I wish it was gonna be packed out because I heard it's a really cool environment. But just really excited to go up there. Maybe it'll snow. First snow game I'll be a part of if it does. So all the guys are excited. Obviously, coming down the stretch, we know all these games super important, especially where we're at in the season, and we're just excited to play another week. But yeah.
Trev, there was a moment in the in the game on Saturday. It was a 3rd and 5. Y'all hadn't scored in well over a quarter, and it just seemed like Pitt had some momentum going. I don't know if it was a quarterback draw or if you just decided to take off, but you had to break a couple tackles to pick up the first down, and then you scored that touchdown. Is that just one of those times when you just, as a leader, just have to take it upon yourself when you feel like you need a big momentum play?
Yeah, like I said after the game, Pitt presented some challenges, and obviously the score was lopsided. But they're a good team, a really good defense that's disciplined and do some things that are tough as an offense to manage. So I had to kind of feel that out, figure it out during the game, make some adjustments, and that was just an example of when my number's called, just doing whatever I can to get the first down, keep the chains moving, and do whatever I can to help the team. Obviously, we kind of hit a little dead spot in that second quarter, but picked it back up and got it back rolling. So that felt good. But yeah, I mean, just doing whatever I can to keep the drive alive and get us in a position to score. So. Yeah.
Hey, Trevor, this is Cam Gaskins with ABC Columbia. You and Darian have kind of been side by side all through the offseason, through everything from the protests to we want to play. Well, what did it mean to you to see him get that award yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, it was just awesome. His journey has been pretty special, and just to see, obviously I haven't been here the whole time with him, but the last 3 years, just to see how he handles himself, the amount of time he puts in, just really caring for other people and doing things that, I mean, don't even necessarily affect him, but just trying to help people, and just a really good guy. Can't think of a better person, and I think that award kind of describes him perfectly. Just a guy that's believed in himself, believed in the process, and came to Clemson kind of on a whim. And he's from right down the road, but walked on here, earned a scholarship. Is probably the best leader on this team. Just a guy that cares a lot about people, and I'm proud of him and proud to be his friend.
Hey, Trevor, David with ESPN. You guys pushed so hard to get to play this year. And then obviously you ended up running into some of those same obstacles that I think were such a big concern at the beginning of the year. Do you kind of look back on what your thought process was in August, and would you do anything differently? Are you still as happy that you have been able to get onto the field as you were? Has the season been a frustration at all, the way that some of these things have gone, or how do you kind of evaluate all of that?
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything. I think obviously there's been some frustrating moments, but just with this whole year, this whole situation is, we can't control it. There's going to be situations that you kind of just have to figure out. No one's been through it before, and so we're all trying to figure it out. But I think for the most part, you look around, and I think people have done the best they can, and we're making it work. Obviously, it's not ideal. This whole situation isn't ideal. No one would choose it, but just making the best out of what we got. And I think that we've done that. I know firsthand that we've done that here. Obviously, everything hasn't been perfect, like I said, but I don't regret anything. I would do it all over again. I'm just super grateful that I got to, play this season, this team. I think super special, and just getting that opportunity to play with these guys and to, really show something for the hard work that we put in. We've been working since January to play this season, to get ready, and it's cool to be able to get to experience that and get to play a season. Obviously, during these times, it's hard, and you see some of the stuff in college and the NFL, a lot of games getting postponed and canceled. But I mean, the way I see it, there's a lot more positives than negatives, and there's a lot of people obviously that talk about the negatives. But I think it's been a success so far.
Do you feel like the season needs to end with a national title or an ACC title or anything like that for it to have been a valuable kind of live up to your hopes type of season? Or kind of given the fact that, you had so much growth, I guess, personally in the off season, and, that you've overcome the stuff that you've overcome this year to play, that you found sort of a value in being here this year that is defined by something more than where you finished the season?
Yeah, I think either way, regardless of what happens in football this season, whatever, I've become a better person. I've learned a lot about myself, about who I want to be, just all those things. Just like I said, learn more about myself and become a better person through this whole process. And obviously, I want that to end in a good way, football wise, and hopefully we get a chance to play for an ACC championship and playoff, national championship, all those things. Really hope that happens. That's kind of been the goal all along. But through the process, I've learned a lot, and definitely, if something happened, either we weren't able to make it there, or just something happened with the season, I mean, I wouldn't look at this time as wasted, but it would definitely be really disappointing. So that's something that we've been working for, and hopefully we'll get that opportunity.
Trevor, Larry Williams with TigerIllustrated.com. Tony Elliott said after the game, and I'm sorry if you were asked about this after the game, but he said that he told your parents, I think, that you have made him a better man. How do you process something like that? What does it mean to you? And what do you think he's talking about when he says that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the people we have here. It's not just me. I think there's a lot of people that make everyone better. And I know Coach Elliott's made me a better person. So it just kind of goes full circle. And it's really just a blessing to be around people that really care about you. And I can honestly say that it's not about how I play or how many games we win, championships we win. I think the people here genuinely care about each other, and that shows. And when he says something like that, obviously, all I've tried to do is, I've been trying to figure out life in my time here, but I'll just try to treat people well. And I think I usually do a pretty good job of that. Obviously, still something I can get better at, but that's my philosophy is treat people well, treat people how you want to be treated, and treat everybody the same. And that's something that I always try to do. And I really appreciate Coach E. Obviously, he's been an example for me, how he carries himself. He's not the loudest guy, always out there, rah-rah, talking all the time. But when he says something, he really means it. And as an offense, I think everyone respects him. And on the team, too, everyone respects who he is. And kind of his journey, obviously, his story is pretty special, what he's had to overcome. And just have a lot of respect for the man he is and how he carries himself.
Trevor, Brad from Clemson SI. This receiving core that you have this year, have they kind of maybe, in your opinion, flown under the radar a little bit? And how would you compare them to some other receiving groups that you've had the previous two seasons?
Yeah, it's just we don't necessarily have that big name that people are talking about all offseason, all year. That's, has all these expectations like, T and Justin and other guys in the past. I mean, we've always kind of had that guy, but this year's a little bit different. Everyone's kind of playing their role and doing it well. We've had some new guys like that have kind of blown up. I mean, Cornell, obviously in camp, we knew he was going to have a good year. Just he had a really good camp and was just playing really well. So we kind of expected it, but got people on the outside have really come to notice like how he's playing. He's playing really well. So that's been cool to see. And then just all the other guys, it's been a lot of guys getting touches, some young guys. You got EJ, Brandon Spector, obviously Frank and Joe haven't been playing as of late, but hopefully get them back soon. And I think it's been a little bit surprising to a lot of other people who's played and who's kind of made a name for themselves. But I think being a part of the program and seeing it every day, it's not really surprising. But yeah, it's been cool to be a part of that. It's definitely different than years past, but it's still awesome.
Hey, Trevor, it's Chase Goodbread with NFL.com. I was on campus a couple days for the Pitt game, and one of the things that I heard from a couple students about you is that before COVID, when we could all be a little closer, you would occasionally catch a moped ride from like a random student you didn't even know just to get from one part of campus to another. Can you confirm that?
Not random students. Usually they were some of my teammates and maybe one of my friends before, but not random students. I'm not I'm not that trusting of everybody, but I would hop on the back of a moped occasionally. I think there's some pictures out there.
Yeah. And just as a quick follow up, are there any techniques that you've kind of had to pick up the last 3 years just to get around without having too many people surround you, like learning where back doors to buildings and restaurants are and things like that?
Yeah, definitely the right time to go places like the grocery store. So I'm not gonna say exactly when I go. That could be a problem, but then like you said, like back doors, we'll throw a hood on. But also too, I mean, I know kind of the role I play and who I am, and that that's just how it is. When I go out in public, people want to talk, get a picture or whatever. So I know that that's part of it. And there's some days when I kind of embrace that more, and some days where I'm like, I just kind of want to have dinner with Marissa or my family or whatever, and not really, talk to anybody else. So there's times I kind of hide myself more, and sometimes I'll just go out and be a little bit more talkative, more outgoing. So there's definitely times when I do both. But yeah, I've learned a few things.
Thanks.
Trevor, this is Grace with The Athletic. Coach Sweeney about an hour ago was saying that if Clemson's goal was for you to win the Heisman, you would have already done it by now. But obviously Clemson hasn't ever had a Heisman winner. I just wanted to ask you what it would mean to you now that you're fresh on voters' minds again, if you were to be able to deliver Clemson its first ever Heisman Trophy, what that would mean to you.
Yeah, it would obviously be a huge honor. Something I grew up, I wouldn't say necessarily dreaming about. That wasn't ever the main goal for me. That's obviously something as a kid. It's cool to look at and be like, man, I hope I can do that one day. So I definitely have had that thought, but grew up watching it, have a lot of respect for everyone that's won it. It's a really prestigious award, obviously, but to be honest, I don't think about it too much. It's like any award that it's special in the sense that it is the most prestigious award in college football, which is awesome, but people still vote on it. And it's kind of a hard thing to say. Like, how do you compare players? Sometimes it's easy, but sometimes you compare a quarterback to a running back to a receiver. It's just hard to compare that. So I don't really take too much stake in that necessarily. It would be a huge honor, and whoever wins that deserves it. Obviously you're playing at a super high level if you can win that award. But if I win it, that'll be great. It'd be a huge honor for me. It'd be big for Clemson University, for my family, and I'd love that. But regardless, it doesn't change anything. I still know who I am, still believe in myself, have confidence in myself. And but it would be really cool, and definitely something that obviously hasn't happened here before.
Hey, Travis, Trevor again. Speaking of the Heisman, I guess, Travis has kind of like lost some attention as far as that goes, but, he hasn't had the rushing yards for obvious reasons, the way teams are playing y'all and stopping the run. But Coach Sweeney talks about just how much he means just his presence on the field, and for teams having to adapt and account for him. How much have you been able to take advantage of that just through, we saw a lot of that on Saturday, just with the fake pitches and the play action?
Yeah, he's just a problem for teams to try to figure out. So when you have a guy like that obviously takes more attention from the defense and opens other things up. It's like football. It's always give and take. As an offense, you want to do something schematically, then you're going to get an advantage in one area, you're going to lose it in another. And same thing defensively, to stop Travis, then you're going to lose a little bit in your pass defense. And that's just how it is, or vice versa. If you want to stop the pass, you're lighter in the box, all those things. So it's just the game of football. You have to figure out what you want to do, what risks you want to take. And I think Travis puts a ton of stress on a defense trying to figure out, how do we stop this? He can run the ball, he can catch the ball, he can do anything in the passing game, run game. They can use him a ton of different ways. So that's a huge challenge. And just having a guy like that is, it's super valuable. It makes it hard for the defense, like I said. But I think you can't really measure his value to this team. It's just amazing, all the things he can do and how he helps. You see since he's been here how successful the teams have been and how successful he's been. So it kind of speaks for itself.
Hey, Trevor, it's Mark from WIFF. Following up on Grace's question, I'm sure there's nothing Dabo tells us that he wouldn't tell you privately, but when you hear him say, regardless of the Heisman, Trevor Lawrence is the best player in college football, what does that mean to you?
Just that he believes in me. I mean, he's believed in me pretty much since I got here. Obviously, I had to prove myself, and he's never wavered. You know, I feel full support from him, from everyone here, really. But just has always had confidence in me, and that as a quarterback, that means a lot when the head man believes in you and has confidence and really doesn't put any limits on you. So just kind of affirms that. I've known that because he's expressed it to me. But definitely is a guy that personally I love playing for. He believes in all of his players and me, so it's special.
How would you describe how your relationship has grown with him from the time you got to campus to now?
I think just, I guess as being a freshman, it's more just, yes, sir, kind of like whatever. Like you get coached and you say yes, sir, and move on. Now we have more conversations and just kind of built that relationship. We've had a lot of, obviously this year, we've had a lot of conversations really about everything and meetings and just a lot of different things. So we've gotten closer. I feel comfortable going to him about anything. If there's an issue I see internally, whatever that may be, I feel like I can go up there and talk to him and he'd receive it. And I think that's one of the best things about Coach Sweeney is I think pretty much everybody on the team almost has his phone number and anyone can call him or text him at any time and he'll pick up. So that's special. I know there's not a lot of coaches that necessarily do that. And I know if I needed to meet with him whenever he's free, I can just pop up there and talk to him. So I feel like we have a really good relationship. And like I said, it goes deeper than football. He's taught me a lot of just how to deal with. Obviously, he's under a microscope and has a huge spotlight on his life, and he's kind of taught me how to deal with that. And I've learned a lot from him of just you got to live your life. And obviously, there's a lot of things said about Coach Sweeney, but at the end of the day, he's got to do what he thinks best and live his life. And you can't always listen to what other people say. So I've learned a lot from him of just how to handle that, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that I appreciate from him.